Hello.
Hi.
I'm trying to
Hello.
find a good spot. Usually I do it from my
Yeah,
garage,
you're kind of
but
going in and out, not gonna lie.
today is today's yeah,
Okay. Okay. I
today's
hear you.
trash day. So I don't wanna be doing the interview and then all of a sudden
You're gonna say something.
I'll be like, hold on, trash trucks is here.
Yeah.
It's so funny. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got like kind of nature-ish slash stairs.
I love it. I love this like rustic, like local
Yeah.
time, you know? I love it.
Yeah. We're just gonna keep it straight local.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Fine.
Um,
I came to my uncle's. I don't live here. I was like, I need somewhere quiet and somewhat very, very nice. So,
okay.
yeah.
You didn't want you didn't want to go out on like the pool deck?
I know. I think it's closed
Oh, it's
here.
close.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
No.
But it's okay. At least you got like a nice quiet
Oh,
spot.
this view. I don't know if I can I do like a
If
thing?
you that's if you
The
want
live?
to. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want
Look at this view.
to. Dang.
Right? Like this is what I'm looking at as I'm talking to you guys.
So nice.
So pretty. Love it.
Wow. This is well, if you're gonna show you, I'm gonna show you mine. This is what I get to look at.
Okay. I'm like in a building. You're like, that's your guys' view?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's like our backyard.
Wow, so pretty.
I would show you the rest, but it's kind of like slightly overgrown and
Okay. You showed us the nice part. You like how
yeah. I
love
showed
it.
you the important Ko'olau Mountain. That's
I
so funny.
mean, can't get any better than this though. You know, like our views, like we can't complain.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Okay. All right. Let's start this because there might be a lot. So I want to get as much time with you as possible.
Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay.
So today, um, we did a test run on her a while back. Well, almost. Geez, that was like what?
Eight
When was that?
8 or 9 months ago, it was my last class, and it was right before I moved to Miami. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy. We did a test run way back when. Um, but we are actually going to do a real one, a live one. We have Jenn Kuehne on our fifth Sickled podcast slash interview today. Um, we are just going to jump right into some lightning round questions.
Okay, Spitfire. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Who has the better beaches, Miami or Hawaii?
Oh, Hawaii, hands down.
Oh, nice.
Finish the question. Hawaii, hands down.
Okay. Um, what I'm gonna ask like, yeah, what was your favorite food from Florida, I should say.
Um, actually, I never really ate Cuban food before. I think I've
Okay.
maybe had it once, possibly, but yeah, I actually really like Cuban food. I've come to learn. I didn't know, but now I do.
Nice. What did you have?
They have what is it like the? It's like steak, but their steak is like flat, and they have this like chimichurri something chimichurri sauce on it.
Okay. It's like a spicy sauce or is it like a
No, it's like this like greenish sauce. I don't know if anyone
oh
talking about, but
I don't know. Sounds good though. Whatever
chimichurri.
it is.
That's what it's
Chimichurri.
called. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Meat and
okay.
chicken.
The meat and chicken.
Mm-hmm. Keto life.
Okay. Um, what else can we ask you? Okay. Favorite Hawaii food. Oh, you know what? Let's do favorite Hawaii snack.
Snack. Well, food is Kalua pig lala and lomi salmon. That's like hands down. That's just my favorite food in general.
In general.
Um,
Okay.
snack. Like I'm not really a snacker, but if I had to choose, like lihing pineapple or anything with lihing on it.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Um, tell us very briefly, how did you start dancing?
Um, my mom put me in dance when I was, I think, 3. I started at Drill Team Hawaii.
Shout out Jill team.
Drill Team Hawaii, man. February and Mrs. Young, they've been there forever. Love them so much. But yeah, started in Drill Team. That's where I got my foundation. Um, and then maybe around, well, I started going to New Hope. Actually, I got injured. I got injured at drill. I was I was learning how to do front aerials, and
Uh-huh.
I got tendonitis in both feet from gymnastics. And so
Dang.
they're like, you can have surgery and like shave down like the bone and have like a cast on one foot for like 6 months and then a cast on the other for another 6 months. And I was like, that's okay. But I was wearing around a boot, like a black boot for a while. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then I was kind of in this weird place. So my mom threw me into youth choir at New Hope. I didn't know how to sing, didn't like to sing. I was like, okay. And then it kind of led me into dance at New Hope, which is, I feel like, where I met you, right? You taught there a couple times, like with Nate.
I think I did, but I feel like it was at Castle.
Possibly. Well, because right after, well, I was taking classes kind of with 24/7 too. And then I fully joined 24/7 after Solo asked me to be part of the work study program after trip.
Okay.
So I had taken classes and stuff before that. And then, yeah, and then I moved to Castle, danced with Castle program, danced with 24/7, did Warrior Dancers. Yeah, so I just kind of, my mom put me in dance, but I'm so grateful that she did.
Yeah. The whole shaving down the bone. Can we just do it at the same time? And then just like 6 months, just
Just
not
wheel me
walking.
around.
Yeah, just moving around. I don't want to do just like 6 months and then 6 months again. Like,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
oh my
Uh,
goodness.
yeah.
That's okay. Um, where do we go from there? How was it for you coming up in the Hawaii dance community? Because you didn't just dance in a studio.
Yeah. I know. I kind of bounced around, I feel, because I've taken um, Kathy Izumi with Honolulu Dance taught at New Hope as well. So there were some classes that I took from Honolulu Dance. I took some classes from even Hyper Squad, Drill Team, 24/7. I was just kind of all over the place. But to me, dance was home. You know, that was my second home. My friends were dancers, and I felt accepted from all places. I think healthy for you to go out and experience different studios, see where you fit. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, who did you dance with outside of the studio?
Hmm. Outside of which studio?
Or any studio? Didn't you have a crew?
Oh, you're talking about full court press. Okay. You know, yeah. So, I want to say this was like back in the day when You Got Served first came out, and it was this whole crew hype. And back in the day, it was a thing. It was all Asia Ragers, and there would be these crew battles at the water park and at all ager events. And yeah, our crew was called Full Court Press. It was with Micah Banks. You probably heard him on the radio. Micah and Ty, Willie, me, Janelle DeRay was with 24/7. She was in it. Kelsey came in a little later on. And yeah, I mean, we would go to high schools and perform at like music with a message event.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean,
Okay. And well, did it have, what kind of effect did it have when, performing outside? Because I'm assuming that with full court, it was just, we're going to learn this, no mirrors, just, you know what I mean? So
yes.
how did that experience translate to, I guess, dancing in the studio?
Uh-huh.
Or did
Yeah. So the guys, the guys that were in the crew were not technically trained, or they weren't dancers per se. They never really took dance. Willie learned crump off of YouTube with tight eyes and like clowning and all of that. Two-step was like a huge thing, but it wasn't like a mainstream thing yet.
Mhm.
So we all kind of had to teach each other. I think that was the first time that like me and Janelle were kind of put in a position where we kind of had to like break it down. I mean, they did well for themselves watching. I mean, back in the day, that was the thing. You watch music videos, you learn the moves, and you kind of did it. And so, I mean, I think that it helped us grow, well, me grow personally, as far as taking what I learned in the classroom and trying to teach someone that doesn't really know dance. It kind of
Mhm.
preps you to be just a teacher in general all of a sudden, but it also helps you break down the movement and terminology to someone that isn't trained, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, do you think it helps your dancing in general?
Yeah, I mean, you had to be a little more of a freestyler at that point because, you know, songs will come on, they're looking at you, they're like, ooh, what are you gonna do? And drill team is very structured. And
Uh-huh.
so since that was my foundation and then going into 24/7, and at the time, you know, freestyle wasn't that big of a thing. It was what the choreographer does, you do it. And so
Mhm.
I personally, even to this day, I'm not a good freestyler, but I've had to, you know, I've had to learn and grow. That experience helped me see and learn that, oh wow, you have to already come with moves, or, you know, really practice dance on the side and know your own body and your own movement.
Mhm.
Because once that song turns on and they're looking at you, you have to do something. So yeah. They're just standing there like, oh yeah.
I think, yeah, that's definitely something for us. Like, yeah, like you said, for us, freestyling wasn't like really a big thing. I mean, I had a taste of it like with Hyper Squad, learning how to break dance, and then it's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. Okay, this is weird. All right, that's cool. Like, there's foundation, but basically, I'm on my own, and then learning from some of my other friends like Fee and whatnot, and then yeah, very much put in the hot seat. Like, music comes on. All right, what you got? Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, just being comfortable with yourself, and then uh, just kind of like taking a breath and just getting lost in the music. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't realize how difficult that was, when I first starting out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so fun though. You can't say you're not a good freestyler if you're put in that position.
I'm not. I'm not.
No,
I
that's so
am.
funny. Okay, how was it? Did you get to do any dancing in Miami?
Yeah, so this was the thing. And I feel like this happens a lot whenever I feel like I've moved, you know, I've lived in Vegas, LA, and Miami, and all three
Hmm.
times when I lived in these places, obviously I wanted to pursue dance anywhere I've gone. You know, that's why you move away, or especially like as a dancer, you know, you want more opportunity. And so
Hmm.
I just found myself though sinking myself into work. Like as far as Vegas goes, like, you know, I was working at POW as a marketing administrative assistant, and I just got so caught up in that. I think I care a lot about my work career also. So
Hmm.
I try to do my best there, and then it just ends up dance becomes on the back end of everything. And then when I moved to LA, I took the step, but it took me a while. I took a step of becoming a work study so I could get free classes, and I was still working and dancing and doing that. And then Miami, um, same thing happened. I had my year covered for Miami. Like my rent was covered for the year, and I told myself I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to go out there and dance. And I took a couple classes, and it just didn't feel the same. I don't
Mm.
know what it was. I don't know if it, I mean, it definitely was the culture, the people. I was just kind of in a shock. And sometimes I feel like if it's too big, I just kind of want to like remain small and kind of hide away a little bit. I
Uh-huh.
get like really shy. And so um, I got a job. I tried to focus on that. And then at some point, it was right before the pandemic, I think like in February, I actually quit my job and I was like, I'm gonna focus on dance. I only have so much time here. I saw myself only being out there for a year. I'm like, I'm gonna focus on dance. And so I auditioned, booked with an agency. Like on the spot, they booked me for the gig that weekend, and then the pandemic hit
Nice.
and
Oh.
said, no, no, we're gonna cancel the event and everything's gonna shut down. So I was right there,
Yeah. You
right
were.
there, finally, and
Uh-huh.
then, and then I got sick, and then the whole thing, and then I moved home, so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think the timing on that is kind of, I mean, is interesting. Uh, but what, I don't know. I guess what did you take away from it? Like on the positive side.
Yeah. Um, I think just in general, I try to live my life with no regrets. And I can honestly say, up until this point, I don't have any regrets of anything that I've done or I've been through. I've gone out and I've lived this life of taking a lot of risks, even though I don't feel like I'm a risky person. But
Uh-huh.
I did, and I can say that I did it, and that I accomplished that at least. And so, it's where I wanted to be at that time. I wanted to take that chance to know that at least I was booked for something, and I can say that it was gonna
Mhm.
happen, but all of this happened. I mean, what can you really take from it? I mean, work experience wise, I learned a lot as well. Um, and just moving and seeing where I want to be in life and where I need to be. It just kind of reminded me, like, okay, like you've done enough moving, like you should just, stay home. So
Okay. Um,
yeah,
has your experience from dancing helped you, I guess, career or job wise, like how you look at things or how you approach things?
totally. I just got interviewed this question, like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, like the interview person for the job was like asking me how dance relates to, because I had like dance teacher on my resume.
Okay.
Um, but I think with dance, and this relates to. I mean, I don't want to touch on too much about like what's going on in the world because I feel like we kind of need this break from all the chaos. But I think the beautiful thing about dance is you come into contact with so many different types of people, and
Mhm.
there's it's not about it's not about anything related to what they look like or their beliefs. It's solely based on movement and the art of it, and that we can appreciate it. And so I think dance has taught me really how to work with all types of people, to be patient, and yeah, just have good energy. I feel like with dance you need some sort of energy, to give off. So
Yeah, for sure. Because we as dancers or we as creatives, I feel like we really feed off like each other's energy Yeah. Um, okay. Uh, let's see. Something I was gonna ask you
When
or
do we get
say.
to
Huh?
Brent? Like, do you get to be interviewed at all on one of these?
I don't know.
I think Larry should interview you.
Oh my
Guys think,
gosh.
right?
Larry has not interviewed me. I've interviewed Larry
That's
twice,
right.
which I
You
think
have
is
some
great.
experience.
Do
Like, you
I?
guys, yes. People should know. Like,
People should know.
you're. I mean, you've gone on tour. You've done that. Like, I'm sure a lot of people want to learn from your story.
Maybe. We'll see. Let's. Okay, if you want to hear.
What? You want to pitch? I feel
No,
like we're already here.
no. Today is not about me. If people want that, that's cool. That then drop a comment or whatever. That's cool. Uh.
I vote yes.
Oh, thank you. Um, that's so funny. Okay, so going back to you being in, uh, I guess, the Hawaii dance community,
Mm-hmm.
Shane, Larry will interview Brent. Maybe Larry will. Um, do you have, or I guess this is a question that speaking of Larry, that Larry came up. Um, do you have any? Well, I want to hear both horror and a hilarious story of any of your any of the directors that you've worked with or that you've danced for.
That I've danced for. Any horrific stories
Yeah,
about that?
yeah, like an experience or like um, both
Within,
horror
within,
and hilarious within
or with
Hawaii.
the,
Or it could be anywhere. Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, yes, and I won't mention like, I obviously won't mention like the people or the studios because then that'll, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to there's too much tea over here. But, um, you know, there was a studio that wanted me to go there. And there was a director of somewhere else that didn't agree with me going. So that caused a little friction.
Mhm.
Until this day, there's still some awkwardness between that. Because I feel like it's really hard. I think in the Hawaii dance community, and I mean, you already know, like it's blocked off, and I don't know if it's like that in different states as well. Like I know LA is so broad,
Mhm.
there's Millennium, there's dance. Just you go and take classes, and it's either because you know the choreographer and you want to take from them, or just you like the studio, whatever it may be. But it's not like these teams,
Mhm.
and so it becomes competitive. It becomes even more than that. I feel like I don't even know the right word beyond competitive, but not even like this animosity towards each other. It's really weird. And you might not even know the person, but for some reason, because they're from that studio, you associate them with other people that represent that studio, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I've always felt, and especially being someone that has kind of jumped around from different studios, and so have you, like, there's no need for that really. I feel like every studio on the island offers something, offers
Mhm.
something different. Not one studio is like the other. I think every studio has a strong base and foundation, what they're trying to portray in their message through dance. And so, um, and even now, I'm going off track, but even now, it's so cool to see like on live watching people from other studios. And I know Jason kind of touched up on this too, watching other people from other studios take classes from other choreographers from different studios. I think that it's so cool and such a beautiful thing to see that, because you don't know how special someone is to that studio or what they can bring to you because you're so consumed in just one studio. I
Mhm.
think to have an open mind, like knowledge is power. And so the more you get to absorb from these people, like take advantage right now to take classes online. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like now is definitely the time. Like it's so crazy. You literally don't have to leave your house, and you
Yeah.
can take from anyone from around the world. Um, LA, I guess my experience with LA dance community, yeah, there's there's a lot of teams like in the community,
Hmm.
and they're somewhat competitive, but everyone just took class wherever they wanted, but everyone understood that you needed to still be committed and loyal to
Hmm.
the team that you signed up for, you
Hmm.
know? And I mean, I hate to say that's something obvious, but it's not obvious to everyone, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
But it was kind of great. Like even going to competitions, like before the competition, everyone was just about like making sure everything was right because like people are competitive. But then after, it's like, oh, hey, what's up? You down to go eat? Like, or you know what I mean? So you see different teams like, with friends or whatever because they take class with each other
Hmm.
all the time, and it was great. And I think that's definitely one thing I would like to see for Hawaii. It's getting there. It's getting
Hmm.
there slowly, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Jason said, it's so great to see. You know. Okay, so what is a hilarious story?
Great story. I mean, out of all the like directors that I've been under, I mean, it's been Cello because Cello, I mean, I was I was with him when I was like 12 when
Uh-huh.
was starting ABC Dance Company or ABC Company in 24/7, like old
Yeah.
school 24/7. And then I left, and then I came back, and then we did like circus and all of that. And then I came back again with Castle, and
Uh-huh.
then I did Warrior Dancers with him as my coach. And then, full circle, I came back as an assistant coach with him. So I feel like with Stella, it's always good times, but it's just so funny because, for instance, like Warrior Dancers, there was a day, I don't know what was wrong with me. I mean, half the time, but my shoes there's like hooks on them and they hooked together for some reason. And all you do is see me just go, like, or I like get up and just fall over. And someone's like, Jen, what's wrong? Like he's always calling me out like, Jen. So I think about those moments too. I know Sasha was there actually. I don't know. I think she was like, she might have, yeah, still been there. But yeah, I mean, with Cello, it's always good times. It's always funny times. So just one of the moments. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna share a story
Okay.
because I know. Well, so I don't know if you know, but our unicorn for this whole podcast is Cello. Like Larry and I had a talk about this at the studio, and we were telling Cello about it, and we're like, Cello, we gotta get you on. And he gave us a straight up no. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not ever happening. So anyway, it kind of like dabbles on the lines of like both because one day it was we had a rehearsal, and you remember like when we were at Castle and we didn't do it right or we were messing up, we had to run laps, we had to run the rows, and then we had to come right back on stage and do it full out again.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened, I think, a couple of times in a row, and then I don't know, Cello was just like, I'm just gonna have to lay it down for you. So as Cello is talking with us, we're standing in our formations. I'm in the front row.
Yeah.
Cello's like scolding us. I end up like slowly turning and facing the same way, like facing everybody. And I'm like pointing my finger at like people like, that's you. He's talking about you. Like,
I can see you doing that.
And then like Cello would like, like turn and look, and I would just stand there and just make like I was listening. And then he would turn away. And then I kept like pointing out people, and they were just getting so upset at me. They were
Oh
like
my
looking like,
god.
I'm going to kill you. Like, I don't even know how you turned and faced us. I don't even
Uh,
know. I don't even know if Cello knows that even
no,
happened, but knowing Cello, he probably did.
probably. I mean,
Probably. Oh my gosh. Um,
ones. I know.
yeah, Alan, I know he would never be interviewed, but you know what? I might just have to like, I don't know. That's still our unicorn. We want Cello.
Yeah.
Jason said he wants to be on the same show as Cello, so that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That would be
Um,
cool.
yeah, it's super cool. Oh, he said I did.
Of
See?
course he did. Solo
Of
knows
course he did.
all.
Cello knows. Cello
Uh,
knows. Uh, okay. Do you have any hilarious? Well, okay, that was your UH Rainbow. Okay. Do you have any hilarious backstage performance stories?
hmm.
Something that no one would have, no one would really know unless you were backstage for a show.
You know, when you get to be this old, right? You get
First of all, hold on,
Alzheimer's.
hold on.
I I don't know. I'm trying to think of like good ones, but
No,
I think so. I mean, we always try and have a good time backstage, but I I didn't really. Because I mean, as far as performances go, I mean, there were times. I mean, I performed at Carnival and Jete,
mm,
and this event called Friday Night Raw in LA. In Vegas, we did. Um, what was it called? It's at the Hard Rock Cafe. I actually saw Josh there one time, which was so random. He ended up performing there. Tuesday Blood. Um, but we weren't really ever like backstage, so it wasn't really a thing. But so as far as like, you know, in a theater backstage goes, since I was home the last times we did it, I hadn't performed like in that type of theater environment for a while.
mm, okay.
I mean,
Um,
on stage, when I was like in drill team when I was really young, we had this like yellow bus that came out.
uh-huh.
They probably still have the yellow bus. I don't know. We have to ask like Lexi or Ray or someone. There was a yellow bus that came out, and I remember trying to get out. You know, like there's like a level thing on
Uh-huh.
the bus. Oh yeah, fully, yeah, tripped over that on stage. Just boom. So
What's with you and tripping?
what's
Like,
with the falling?
you're a true dancer. That's what it is.
You know, but yeah.
uh, that's amazing. Like, so was this like a prop, like a wooden built
Yeah,
bus kind of?
it looked like it was like a big yellow bus, and we like came out. I mean, it was young. I must have been like a super mini, probably. Came out, and then yeah, just fell over. So yeah.
That's amazing. Um, how was your dance experience in LA?
Hmm. Um.
Because I mean, that's kind of a big one. You have Hawaii, you have Miami, LA,
Oh,
you have Vegas. What are those
oh,
experiences like?
yeah. No, LA was always my dream to go out there and dance. I think you know at that time too. It was like the thing, you train 24/7 and then you go to LA. That's what you do. Um, but I have to say, it took me a while. Like at first, I would try and go and take class, but it's so intimidating. There's just, and I'm someone that I get in my head, and
Mm.
I'm one of those people. There's some people that are so fearless that will just go train, and I wish I was that way, but you know, I get in my head a lot. So for the first, I'd say year, I tried to a couple times and I got so scared. And then, like I said, I decided to do the work study program because I think dancers forget you have to pay for classes. You know, it's not like, I think a lot of people think that,
Yes.
oh, I'm going to go to LA, move there, and take class all the time. Do you know that a class costs $15 and it kind of adds up from there? You can't guess everybody's class, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's any advice I have, you know, have a job when you go out there, or at least, you know, take care of yourself and
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, do that. Not just try and make connections or, you know, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, a lot of my dance experience out there was at International Dance Academy, IDA, because when I work studied, that's when I met, you know, all the teachers. They kept seeing me. It was hard because it was, you know, an all-age studio, and there was a lot of kids that came through.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I think it helped me. It was in my favor because a lot of them noticed me because I wasn't like this little kid.
Yeah.
But I think that's a smart way to go. You know, I was getting free classes. At one point, they stopped the work study program and started paying me. So I was getting paid to take
Nice.
this as well. So
Yeah.
booked me gigs also, just making those connections. And yeah, I mean, and then we started Friday Night Raw. And it was so cool to actually do Carnival and Jete. And it comes easy for some people, I think. But for me, I really had to work to get there.
Mm-hmm. Can you briefly describe what those are for those who don't know what
Oh, I'm
Carnival
sorry.
and Jete?
Carnival and Jete are dance shows. So, you know, a choreographer will put in their request to showcase their number, and then they'll put a piece together and it'll be a blended performance. So it's kind of like a production in a way, but it's once a month. And it's so cool because it's people that, I mean, when you live in Hawaii, especially, you see all these people, Paris and Isabel and all these people online, and you think, oh, cool, how cool it would be, Twitch, whatever. And then you go there and they're all there. Like, it's just like, everybody is there. I think one time Jessie J was at Carnival. That one time Janet, like, came and performed at Carnival. I mean, it's on a whole nother level, but it also kind of, I don't know if I'd say brings me down to earth or them down to earth, but it just feels more equal in that sense. Because at this time, you're putting them up on such a high pedestal, thinking like, oh my God, they're this person, they're so big and da-da-da. And then when you're in the same room with them, it becomes a little more equal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have to be reminded of that they're people just like us.
Yes.
I mean, it was disappointing too. It was disappointing sometimes to meet those people that I thought so highly of, because who they really are as a person is so different than what it comes off in front of, you know, thousands of people. So
Yes.
that
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Yes. I used to love Carnival for the same reason. I've never performed at a carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I mean, whatever. But I liked going to carnival for the freestyle circles, because I don't know how it is now, but there used to be freestyle circles before the show and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for me, that was when I was like really starting to enjoy freestyling. But as soon as I saw those people, I was like, nope, I'm not dancing anymore. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
I got nervous, and yeah, same thing. I was just like, I'm just gonna observe.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
I do love those. Okay, so yes, so you got to that all. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Totally getting off track.
No, what happens
Yeah.
all the time?
Huh?
It happens all the time. I feel like we start one and then we go to the other.
It's fine.
But I
Tangents are great.
talk. I can just tweet off of whatever.
Okay, so now that you described what those are,
Mm-hmm.
what was your experiences? So you started getting noticed. You started doing more things.
Yeah, I started doing more things. um, it was cool because I was a work study at IDA and I was taking all these people's classes. I mean, there was an audition. There was over 500 people there.
Mm.
And because Raina, she danced for Pink, she also taught at IDA, and I consistently took her class. She noticed me, and I got booked for
Nice.
that job. You know, so it's just it's being consistent, it's being reliable, um, and not necessarily. It's not like I saw her at a carnival or a jeté or felt like I had to be her best bud, or get in that way, because I feel like sometimes people feel pressured to get in that way. Oh, I have to
Hmm.
socialize with them. Oh, let me catch them and like get a drink with them at jeté or something like that. But no, I
Yeah.
think it's so. I went out there with the intention of wanting my talent to speak for itself. I never wanted to use anyone to get anywhere. I really wanted to earn it. So that's why it just took me. I mean, I never got to where I really wanted to be, but it took me longer, I think, than most people, because I didn't really want to rely on anyone to get me
Hmm.
there.
No, and that's good. That just shows like you were willing to put in the work. You wanted to hustle for that. So ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay. um, how did that? Okay, how was your experience with like dancing in Vegas?
Yeah, no. Originally I went to Vegas. I think I was like in a weird transitioning time in my life. It was 2011. I was 24. It was my first time living away from home, and I'm an only child, so I had to
Shout out
learn.
only child.
Yeah, but I was also very spoiled, so I had to learn how to do laundry. I didn't know how to cook rice. I had to
Oh,
like
girl.
24, So I had to learn all these new things. I was in a city where I maybe knew like one person. I, was living on my own, trying to figure out how to adult. It was
Mm,
like a kid going to college, but just later on in life. And so with Vegas, again, I was like, I just get really shy when I'm in a new environment. And
mhm.
so it took me a while. I started working, and then um, there's not really there's a dance community in Vegas, but when you come to Hawaii, you know of 24/7, you know of Hyper Squad, you know of Jokes from Hawaii. When you go to LA, you know that there's a Millennium, there was a Debbie Reynolds, all of
Mhm.
that. In Vegas, there's not really. I mean, now it's a little better because now there is a Millennium, and I think New Level, I think it's called, but there's more studios now than there was back then. It was
Mhm.
like little companies, if anything, because I feel like all the dancers that are there are to be in Cirque. And so
Mm.
they're training during the day with Cirque, and they don't really take classes or anything. The only time you see them was at those dance events called Tuesday Blend. And so um, I didn't know where to go. And so I don't know why. I wanted to sign up for gym. So I signed up for this gym, LVAC,
Mhm.
and they had a hip hop class, like a hip hop cardio class or whatever. So I went there, and it was more than just cardio. It was actually like hip hop. And so I started taking there, and I met these girls in the same class, and we created like our own girl group called Flipped, and we performed at like Tuesday Blend events. And then I saw an audition for an agency for MSA, and it was at
Mhm.
the Rock. And I ran into this girl Bria, who I knew from church from here, the Sissons. And so when I saw Bria, I was like, oh my gosh, I danced for a group called Culture Shock. Why don't you come? We're having an audition. And so I went, and then I got in with Culture Shock. And I don't think there was any other group that would have fit for me other than Culture Shock. I think
Mm.
so many great out of Culture Shock, like Hello, Nav Tabs, like they came out
Happy
of Culture
tabs.
Shock. And so yeah, I mean, people that dance in Cirque are from Culture Shock. And so uh, yeah, I mean, at the time, I don't know why I didn't think I was good enough to get into Cirque. MJ1 came later on. I think after, or maybe like towards the end of me moving to LA, maybe. Even if it did, even if it was earlier, I think because Brandy invited me to the premiere. And so I just never thought I was good enough. All the other shows were just like amazing, like acrobatics and, these people from different countries that, I don't know, it was just insane. And I'm not one of those people. So being in Cirque wasn't a focus. But I think now, looking back and going through all the experience that I did, I would focus more on Cirque if I were in Vegas.
Got it. Okay. Do you see any similarities in I guess, those three places, like dancing wise, like maybe in the culture or things that you might have taken away?
Yeah, no, I think the beautiful thing about dance is just movement. Dance is art. Dance is however you want to express yourself. But it all starts with you. And so the energy that you bring right off the bat, when you go to a new studio, I think the message that I want to convey is just, be nice to everyone that comes in, like whether they're new or old. It's super intimidating for someone to walk into a room by themselves and just think like, okay, well, I'm just going to lay my soul on the floor for all of you to see. It's a very vulnerable position to be a dancer. And so I was lucky enough to be accepted. It wasn't always easy, I think you have to kind of earn your spot in a lot of places. But it all starts with, you. So I think if you just walk in and bring a good energy, as far as the different studios, I mean, Miami's culture is so different from LA or Vegas. And, the LA dance community and just dance itself is on such a bigger scale than Vegas. So I think they're all different. But dancers in general, I think, I connected and have the most friends in dance from those cities than I do from like work or just anywhere else.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I think so. Because, I mean, there's a few guys that I've worked with that I really felt like, okay, you're a homie. But I think in terms of friendships, like long-term friendships, a lot of them from dance or through church, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got 10 minutes because I love IG Live because it gives you a time limit, and then once you pass that time limit, it just kicks you out.
It says, nope.
Yeah, you're done. You're done for today.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can always jump back on, but I think the fun part of it is just getting in there and just doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have now that you're back home? What's going on in the life of Jenn?
I don't know. What is 20? First of all, let's start there.
Yeah.
I mean, back in 2011 is when I moved away from home. And then, it was 3 years in Vegas, 3 years in LA. And then I came back home. My grandma got sick and I stayed for 2. But I think myself and everyone else knew, when is Jen going to move back? When is she going to go back to LA? And then I said, nope, I'm going to Miami. And just swerved onto Miami. And then,
yeah.
And then now I'm home again. I think if anything, this whole pandemic and just me traveling around everywhere, there's truly no place like home here. Nothing like the people here. And so this is where I want to be. This is where I want to raise a family and just day. So I'm not too sure. I'm going to be honest, I've been in a weird thing with dance. I am teaching this Saturday though.
Yay.
I'm teaching this Saturday for the first time with IG Live, so that should be interesting. Any suggestions, Brent?
I find it hilarious because you're basically talking to yourself, and then you know, like, you ask the question, how are we doing? Give me a thumbs up if I can go on, thumbs down, you want me to go over it, like, and you gotta wait for the response. So it's kind of funny. Sometimes, you know, when I first started, I was like, yeah, maybe we should just go over that and then let the responses come in, and then
Right.
but then, yeah, you know me too. I'm like, I clown and then I'm like laughing by myself. So it's just such a weird it's such a weird thing. But like, no, there's no real advice I can give you because I'm still trying to figure it out too.
Exactly. I think just this whole, I mean, it's a whole new way of life in general. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, you throw in dance, which, you know, we feed off of people's energy and like a little competitiveness or keeping ourselves on our toes. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, that's why I think I've been having this, you know, back and forth with just adjusting in general to just being home and trying to figure things out. And then, I mean, when I was in Miami, the first like month, I would just like cry because I miss my students so much. You know, like truly,
Yeah.
once you become a teacher, that's it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're in, and I think about them more than I think they even realize. You know, so
Yeah, straight up.
yeah. So it's weird that, you know, I know it is weird that I come home and I haven't been teaching or anything, but I think it's just me wanting to be in the right place to provide that atmosphere for them to know that it's, you know, it's a safe place. It's, I don't know, just provide that for them, you know, what I had when I was here before. So,
Yeah. No, and I think that's a good approach because, you know, as a teacher, we are responsible for that environment. Um, I think I do have not really advice, but I think don't worry about how many people are watching. I think that was a tough one for me at first because, you know, you think about like how many people did you have in class, like actually, and then now you can actually see who's actually viewing it, and straight up, I would get discouraged. Like, dang, I only had how many people? But then I would hear, like, or I would see, because I would jump into other people's classes to, you know, either take class or just see how they were doing.
Yeah.
And I would be like, dang, they only have how many people? Like, really? And I feel like they have a bigger name than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Hawaii dance community.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, well, they have a bigger following, I should say. And I think that was like wait, they have that many. I had this many. I don't feel so bad. Like, you know, like maybe I shouldn't worry about that too much. Shane is saying that his advice is go at a pace you feel is okay. Don't ask them what they want to do. Just let everyone know if they have a question or want to go over anything or go over something, they can just type it in, which is very true. Yeah, I think that was like a mistake. Well, a learning experience.
Yeah.
At the beginning is asking because you're so that's just how it is naturally. You ask, how are we doing? Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like the rate that you're teaching at is based off of what's going on in the room or how, you know, so to not know where the class is at, it's kind of like,
yeah. So just have fun. Just have fun. Just do you.
Do that.
Okay, what is one piece of advice that you have for someone that is thinking about maybe jumping into a class for the first time or thinking about moving, or thinking about becoming a professional, what is one piece of advice?
You have to do it. Like, you have to do it. You can't second guess yourself, because I promise you everything will fall into place just the way that it's supposed to. If you're a Christian, I would just tell you to just pray and just trust that God got you. Because, you know, like I said, I didn't have much experience. I didn't live by myself ever before I moved to Vegas. I just went. And I think that was one of the best decisions I could do, because I grew up finally. But I think that everyone just needs to trust themselves enough to know that it's going to be okay. You know, that don't second guess. Don't think about what other people's thinking. Don't worry about, you know, who's going to say this or that. People talk. It's whatever. This is your life. You need to go and live it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think you personally have a lot to offer, especially with knowledge and just that, trusting yourself, because it seems like you trusted yourself, or believed, like Alan's saying, believed in yourself, to move to those different places and put yourself in those experiences. And I think that's one thing that's so hard for a lot of people, you know. Even for me now, it's still like, you know, like I do get in my head. So that's great. And I think, I know you said you were so nervous about jumping on this podcast, but you have nothing. Honestly, I was like, this girl is crazy. Like, why is she even, like, get out of here. Like, you shouldn't even be nervous about anything. Like, it's like you've been to like 3 different places and danced like all over the place, you know? So I don't know. For me personally, I think you have so much to offer, and yeah, definitely. It's good that you trust yourself, but trust yourself more.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, of course. That's like straight up truth. But like, I appreciate you, like, you know, taking the time again to share, with everybody, you know, the story. Like you said, things might not have panned out exactly, but you have no regrets. So I think that's the main thing. Like, you just went out, did it, and that's it. Like, whatever happens, happens, you know. And I think that's a great way to look at things. Not just in the dancing world, but life in general. Like, you know, you only can control so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely praying, a lot of praying sometimes.
Yes.
Praying every second, a lot of times. But yeah, just believing that everything is going to be taken care of. Let's see. I'm not sure who this person is, but it says, one thing I love about Jen is she's confident and she does everything with her heart and love. And that's why we all love her. Yes, that is definitely true.
Hi, Christine.
Okay. I guess, where can people follow you?
Oh, Jenn from Hawaii. I had to change my IG because people wouldn't type in JK, and so they'd So it's Jenn from Hawaii.
Okay.
I also have a site, jenkuehne.com, that has all my videos.
Snap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
What else? And do you have tutorials on that website?
No, it's just more so just performances, classes that I've been in, YouTube videos, my classes, like my kids. So.
Nice. Okay. Well, we have 30 seconds. So I would like to thank you very much for taking the time. Maybe we'll do this again.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No.
No, I just wanted to say how awesome you are, Brent, and how much